Welcome back to Reclaiming Our Personal Power.
Welcome back, everybody.
So Peter and I are saying hello. We still have Brenda and Celia and Brandy with us. And I'm going to go ahead and just start with our statement, get straight into it. So I'll bring it up on the screen. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. So we use the present tense of the verbs, but that, just know that that does cover everybody in the past who have contributed and, any program you've received in the past. But we like to use the present tense because that is the language of the subconscious. Subconscious understands present tense the best, and then that also extends the belief forward into the future. When we balance it in the present tense, then it's always in the eternal now, that we are forgiving all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming that we receive, past, present, and future. So we are going to be using a heart and hip opening limit clearing process. That the kind of the basis of the limit clearing process is a lunge. And so if you can't get down on the floor, or if lunges are difficult for you, we're going to show you a couple of ways that you can support your body and kind of get comfortable in the lunge, comfortable enough in the lunge that then you can do the arm motions and say the statement and do all the other things that are involved in this limit clearing process. So if you can't we'll just go ahead and show you a couple of options, and then you'll have a chance to go get your props and set yourself up, and then we'll lead you through the limit clearing process. Okay, so one way you can do it is just come to the couch and put one hip, rest one hip down on it so that you still have your knee directly over your ankle, and then you can get your other leg back as far as it can go, because we really are wanting to open up the front of this hip here. And then of course when you do the other side, it'll just look like that. And then another option is that if you have a stool or something like that, you want to get a little lower and get a little deeper into the lunge, you can bring that stool up under your thigh right here. And so I'll just go ahead and show you the pose starts out on all fours. And we'll say the statement a few times. We'll just do a little bit of wiggling around with our spine, do a few cat and cow stretches as we say the statement silently. And then once you're ready to do the lunge, you bring your foot forward and you can get your prop in place. And then we're going to be twisting. So you'll put your hand down on the floor, or if you're on the couch, you can use your stool to put your hand, and then you're going to twist. So whether you're on the floor or whether you've got some props underneath you, it's left foot forward and then right hand down on the floor, and then you turn your heart toward the side. And we'll say it out loud. It's kind of like the seated twist where we look all the way up into the twist and say the statement out loud. And then you lift the heart, and you can bring the hands into, interlace the fingers, but we're going to open them up. If all you can do is stay here, that's fine. But hopefully open up the heart and bring the hands back. If you can grasp the hands, that's great. But if you can't, that's fine. You'll just bring your hands back, lift the heart, say the statement out loud a few more times here, and then we'll switch to the other side. All right. So what you'll want to do is start on all fours just beside the thing there. Okay, so here you just want to have your shoulders above your wrists, hips above your knees, and go ahead and let your head hang. And we'll say the statement silently a few times. Always remembering to inhale first before you say the statement, even when you're saying it silently. So I'll just say it out loud while you say it silently. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Exhale fully and say it again. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And go ahead and wiggle the spine a little bit. Just notice how your body feels in this. One name for this is like a tabletop position. Continue to say the statement silently. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And then, yeah, he read my mind. So just press the heart up toward the ceiling and then let it sink down toward the floor as you breathe, and say the statement a few more times silently. Let the belly sag when you bring the heart down. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Just a couple more breaths as you move the spine around. Just notice what you notice about how the body feels. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. So now when you're ready, just begin to we'll do Peter's left foot first, so you're facing this way. So he's going to lunge with the left knee forward and make sure that he has that knee right above the ankle, and then send that back leg back as far as you can go. There you go. All right.
Top of my foot flat on the floor.
Yes, top of the back foot is flat on the floor. All right, so now the right hand's going to go down here on the floor by your foot, or if you need a prop, if you need a stack of books or something, that's another good thing you could put there for your hand. Hand goes flat on the floor, and then the opposite hand reaches up. And so you're turning your heart. Inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale and say the statement out loud. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Exhale fully. Make sure the eyes are looking all the way toward that top hand.
All the people and forces that contribute to any unhelpful
habits and programming
I receive.
Good. Exhale. We're going to do it at least one more time, maybe a couple more.
I forgive all people and forces who contribute to any and all
unhelpful habits
and programming
I receive. Good. One more time. I'll say it with you.
Hold my hand.
Okay, yeah, so if you need a break for a second, that's fine. And then come back. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Okay, so now you can put your hands on your knee, both hands on your knee, and lift the heart. Really reach the heart up high. Pull the shoulders back. Let's say it one time here. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And then we'll bring the arms up. So pay attention to which way you interlace the fingers. If you want to just stay here, that's fine. Let's say it one time here. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And then if you want to stay here while you keep saying it, that's fine. If you want to open up the arms, it's like opening up your wings. Inhale. Good.
All people
and forces who contribute
to any unhelpful
habits and programming
I receive.
Good. See if you can get the hands all the way back.
I forgive
all the people and forces who contribute
contribute
to any
to any
unhelpful
unhelpful
habits and programming
habits and programming
I receive.
I receive.
Okay, good. And so can you bring your hands all the way back?
Like this.
Okay, so do one like that. If you can, just
I
open that
forgive
heart
all
space.
the people and forces that contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive.
Perfect. So just slowly release it. Put your hands back on your knees. So if all that arm stuff is too hard for you, just keep the hands on the thing and lift the heart while you're saying the statements a bunch of times. If you can do the arm stuff, great. All right, so we're ready to do the other side? So slowly make your way to the other lunge. Make sure that you're okay. Just put it flat. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, so make sure your back knee is coming back as far as you can get it so you really can get open in that hip. And then make sure the front knee is directly above the front ankle. So now you've got your right knee forward and your left hand is going to go on the floor.
Can you move those?
There. Just put it on top. There you go.
It's really distracting.
Okay. So hand goes down on the ground and then slowly twist, raising that top arm. Eyes go toward the hand. Inhale. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Exhale fully.
I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive.
Good. One more time at least in this twist.
I forgive all the people
and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Good. Let's do it one more time. Take a break if you need one. We're going to do it one more time here in this twist.
I forgive all the people and the forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive.
Great. All right, so now bring the hands to the top of the knee and lift the heart. Pull those shoulders back. Lengthen the spine tall. Let the crown of the head reach. Inhale. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. So you can stay here if that's enough for you. If you want to bring the hands up to the sky, remember to lift the heart.
I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful programming and habits I receive.
Good. If you want to stay there, you can. If you want to go a little further, open the arms.
I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive.
Good. And one more time with the hands clasped in the back if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Just keep the arms open.
I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful programming and habits I receive.
Awesome. So now slowly make your way back to center. We'll go back to all fours. So come back down. Make sure your shoulders are above your wrists, your hips are above the knees. Just notice what you notice as you say the statement again silently. Breathe, wiggle the spine. I forgive all the people and forces.
People and forces who contribute to any unhelpful programming and habits I receive.
And this one you can do silently. So while you're in the all fours, just say it silently. I'll say it out loud. Wiggle the spine as you breathe. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. So one more time while you wiggle the spine sideways. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Good. And then now we'll go do the spine the opposite way. Let the belly hang and then press the heart up to the sky. Good. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. Take a breath. Let's say it again. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And then just bring the spine back to neutral, and let's say it silently one more time with that neutral spine. Just let the head hang. I forgive all the people and forces who contribute to any unhelpful habits and programming I receive. And when you're ready, just make your way back to seated position, and we'll share anything that anybody wants to share about the process. How was it, Peter?
It was difficult.
Tell us about it.
I was just doing the twist like this, holding my hand up like that was a little bit painful, like in the muscles. And
like tension or?
Yeah, just like the muscles were kind of burning.
Mm.
Trying to hold the twist and hold my arm up mostly. And same thing whenever I was doing holding the arms out like this, muscles were burning a little bit there.
All right. So there's all kinds of body symbology we could talk about the shoulders and the arms, but we'll just keep on moving. Anything emotional or anything that came up related to the statement that bubbled up from the subconscious into the conscious mind?
No, not it all stayed subconscious.
But we did release a little bit in the sometimes we don't notice anything in that area, and it's just kind of a physical sensation that we have. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to share anything or have any questions?
It's interesting because the same thing happened on my left side this time, except for it was a cramp in the arch of my foot when I do that pose all the time. And that doesn't happen. I could feel my spirit kind of wanting to push this affirmation away. I don't know why. It was like resisting on all levels.
Wow. So yeah, this has a pretty big implication, this statement, because when we forgive ourselves and all of the people, and there's so many things in society and in our culture that can contribute to our unhelpful habits and programming, and when that act of forgiving that brings all of the responsibility back to us. And so a lot of times, the ego is like, I don't like this one. I don't know if I want to do this one. We'll have that with different statements at various times, but this is a really easy one to kind of see, like how, make that connection of ego doesn't want to forgive. Ego wants to blame. Ego wants to put all the blame on all those people and forces that were unfair and that taught us unhelpful things, and sometimes we're downright abusive, right? Depending on our life circumstances. So the ego stays safe when we can blame everybody else out there for, all of our unhealthy habits. So that is an interesting way to describe, just that experience. So thank you for sharing that one. Does anybody else know?
By the time I was done, I relaxed and released it. Just want to add that.
Yes. And you want to keep doing the statement until you can relax and release that. If that's a form of resistance to the statement. And so, whether it's a cramp in the foot or whether it's like, oh, I don't like the statement, whatever the experience is, it's all just resistance. And so just continue to say the statement, continue to breathe, and if you do need to take a break for a minute, from the pose or just back off on the pose a little bit, that's absolutely appropriate and encouraged, for sure. But you want to keep saying it until you can get to that kind of clear place of, okay, that resistance has subsided. And it can come up in so many different ways. It can feel like nausea. It can feel like, a big fear, or there's so many ways. Can you think of any examples of like resistance that showed up during a balance that was kind of not your typical, like a surprising form of resistance?
Getting sleepy.
That's one that can happen. Yeah. And so, you want to keep doing the statement, finish it. The sleepy feeling might not pass though. It might just keep you might just kind of keep getting more sleepy as you do your energy psychology, because sometimes we do need to just shut down and have a nap and let our system just kind of release and integrate the new belief. So, listen to your body. That's one reason that I like to do. I'll do these practices in the morning sometimes, but when you're doing really deep work, sometimes it's good to do those at night. So then you can just let the dream time kind of continue the work. And the sleepy thing is a strange one, because it's like that, when you're pregnant and you just absolutely cannot stay awake. That's a thing, and it's a thing that happens with energy psychology. So, yeah. All right. Anybody else? Yes.
Okay, so I was basically, I couldn't remember the statement. Even though I knew the statement, I was I couldn't say it, and I was keeping to say wrong words or trying to keep focus, and it's I couldn't. Is it maybe an ego response?
So there can be two issues on that one. If you have a really hard time remembering the statement, sometimes that's just a form of resistance. And it just means that, your ego is saying, I don't like this statement. I don't want to do this balance. This is ridiculous. It can be a form of resistance. And so, you don't want to be reading your statement the whole time that you're doing it. You want to try to get it into your, memorize it and say it from memorized by heart. But if you're really having a hard time remembering it, then that can just be a form of resistance that you just need to keep working through, and just keep, maybe glancing at the words to kind of remind yourself until you get it and get into that groove. And then eventually, you're able to say the statement just so easily, and, by the end of it. And so that is a way to know that resistance has passed. Occasionally, we need to change a word. And, I'm going to look at this one. I don't know if that was what it was for you. The issue that Brenda experienced was resistance. That's testing strong. But if another word keeps popping into that statement, I forgive all the people, maybe forces isn't the right word for you, because that just feels weird, and it feels like, it's just not the right word for you to use in the statement. You could change it. If another word pops in there, I forgive all the people and
circumstances, could it be?
Yeah, you could use that word, circumstance. I forgive all the people and circumstances who contribute to any and so if sometimes, not being able to so that it's kind of different than not being able to remember the statement. It's that other words keep popping in there and keep wanting to go into that. And so listen to that, and you can just add a word. You can do, I forgive all the people, forces, and circumstances that blah, 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 blah. If another word keeps wanting to pop in there, then listen to that and use it, and then just see where that takes you.
Okay, perfect.
So yes, good question. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, so we're finished with forgiving all the people and forces who contribute to our unhelpful habits and programming, and we'll just say goodbye for now, and we'll see y'all next time.
Ciao for now.